And on the line is Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary for England. Morning to you.
Good morning.
And when you hear that, are you thinking, well, we're up to speed, we know what we need to do, or are you thinking there is work still to be done?
Well, yes, I am thinking that we are on track to have these arrangements in place, but I'm also thinking it's another reason to vote for the Prime Minister's deal on Tuesday, because the deal allows us to both deliver on the referendum result, but do so in a way that that allows both the economy to function and also these organisational logistical problems not to arise. So it's another reason to vote for Theresa May's deal, which I think it would be the best outcome.
And we'll get back to that perhaps in a moment.
Sure.
But just on the arrangements that you have, for instance, have you got planes ready?
We are working on ensuring that we have aviation capacity, yes.
Right, so you are going to charter planes?
We're working on exactly how we're going to do that. But that is part of the work that we're doing.
And the other thing that people mention, and the API mention, is can there be some way organised of getting some trucks fast-tracked through Dover? Is that another thing that you're working on?
Yes, that's been agreed that if there is a serious disruption at the border, we will have prioritisation, and prioritisation will include medicines and medical devices. And, of course, rather famously, I'm buying a large collection of refrigeration units, and so that those drugs that can be stockpiled will have a stockpile of. Now, there's always stockpiles of drugs, there's stockpiles of flu medicines, there's stockpiles of various things for all sorts of contingencies. In a way, in the health department, we deal with contingencies all the time for all sorts of events, and this is an extension of all of that.
Let me put to you the third thing then that people are talking about, and this is in the Times this morning, that the government, the Times says, wants to issue serious shortage protocols, or a serious shortage protocol, which would allow, in the case of a no-deal Brexit and shortage of medicines, temporary shortage of medicines, would allow for pharmacies to hand out reduced quantities of medicines to people who needed it, bypassing GPs. Is that true?
This is something that we're consulting on. It's not actually just about Brexit. For instance, last month we had a shortage of EpiPens because of a problem with the supplier in the United States, and it's important that, as well as making sure that we have the supply of medicines or medical devices, if trained pharmacists and clinicians need to make judgments like this, then they have the ability to do so.
Right.
This is all clinician-led.
Yeah, just to make it clear, though, well, it would be pharmacy-led, wouldn't it? So in the case of real shortages, you would allow pharmacies, you would have a rule, a law, that would allow pharmacies to hand out small amounts of medicine without going to GPs, in order that people could be kept with their medicines.
Well, pharmacists already have the powers to dispense, and indeed they are highly trained in the effects of these drugs. More broadly, I want pharmacists to be able to do more in our health
but
system.
specifically on this.
Specifically on this, making sure that the rules are aligned to what is best practice, to make sure that if there is on any individual area, and as I say, whether it's to do with Brexit or not, if there's a shortage of an individual drug, that pharmacists can make their clinical and professional judgments. I think that is that will be a step forward.
Right. And you want to have that in place before we were to leave the European Union, if we were leaving the European Union without an agreement in March.
Yes, it's about having the appropriate clinical flexibility.
Right. And that then brings us to the wider question. You turned it right at the beginning. I suppose the question is, how likely is all of this?
Well, if I could just stress one further point on that last point. The key is that this is clinician-led. On all of these questions, we have to make sure that it's clinicians that make decisions. And in the event of I don't know how likely no deal is. It is what happens automatically unless Parliament passes something else, and I very strongly feel that the best thing for the country, not just for the health service, but for the country as a whole, is for Theresa May's deal to pass. I mean, I've said that before on this programme, and the reason is increasingly clear. There isn't a majority for any other particular option. I know there's been a huge amount of debate about them, but ultimately, we voted 52-48, and the deal that Theresa May has brought back gives us both close economic ties and delivers on the result.
Here's the point, which a lot of your colleagues are talking about. Should she delay the vote?
No, Downing Street have been very clear that they're not going to delay the vote, and I think we should win the vote. Don't prejudge it.
No, but that's
let's
the point.
Have the debate.
Delay the vote in order to win it, and you've got Sir Graham Brady, the leader of your backbenchers, all sorts of people now saying, delay the vote. It's a good idea. You can't possibly win it at the moment next Tuesday, but maybe if you delay it and tinker with the agreements, then you could. But you're saying absolutely not.
Well, I think Sir Graham's wonderful. I think he's a great man. My view is that we should continue the debate. We've had 3 days. There's
but hang on. If you think he's a great man, he's saying it not just for fun. He's saying it because he doesn't think the vote can be won.
Well, I think that we should make the argument, make the case, and persuade people. That's what you have parliamentary debate for. And it seems, in my mind, so clear that given the need to get on with this, and the sense in the country is very much, can we just get on with it? And given the assurances that have been given, and given what the deal delivers, which is continued support on the economy and continued close trading relationship with Europe, yet making sure we bring back control of our laws and get control of our borders, I think it's a good deal.
Matt Hancock, thank you.
17 minutes past 7, and we'll stay with